In the brutal lands of Westeros, where life is cheap and death is final, one man defied the ultimate law of nature. Not once, but over and over again. This is the story of Beric Dondarrion, the Lightning Lord. A man sent on a simple quest for justice, who became a living ghost, a soldier of fire, and a testament to the strange, terrible power of a god he barely knew. His tale begins simply enough. Lord Beric Dondarrion of Blackhaven, a charismatic knight from the Stormlands, is tasked by the hand of the king, Eddard Stark, with a noble mission: hunt down the monstrous Gregor Clegane, the Mountain, and bring him to justice for his atrocities in the Riverlands. With 100 men at his back and a royal banner flying high, Beric rode out, a symbol of the king's peace. But peace was the last thing he would find. The mission was a catastrophic failure. Ambushed by Lannister forces at the Mummers Ford, Beric's party was annihilated. It was here that he met his first end, a lance through the chest, courtesy of the very man he was sent to capture, Gregor Clegane. His body was broken, his life extinguished. For any other man, this would be the end. But in Beric's retinue was a man who had long lost his own faith, the Red Priest. Thoros of Myr, drunken and disillusioned. Thoros performed the last rites of his religion. A final kiss, a prayer whispered into the void without any real hope. But this time, something answered. To Thoros' utter astonishment, Beric Dondarrion gasped. His eyes flew open, and he looked. This was the first time. It wouldn't be the last. Confused and shaken, Beric found himself a man without a king, without a mission, in a land torn apart by war. But he had a new purpose, forged in the fire of his own resurrection. He gathered the scattered survivors of his party and other masterless men. Forming a new kind of army, the Brotherhood without banners, they fought for no house, pledged allegiance to no lord. They fought for the small folk, the innocent victims crushed between the warring armies. They became a legend whispered in taverns and holdfasts, led by a man who could not be killed. And the world certainly tried to kill him. His second death came at the hands of the Lannisters again, a mace to the helmet that caved in his skull. Thoros found his body and brought him back. He was stabbed in the eye by a soldier, only to be resurrected once more, leaving him with a gruesome eye patch that would become his trademark. He was hanged by the phrase, left dangling until his neck snapped. Again, Thoros' prayer and the Lord of Light's fire pulled him back from the abyss. He was killed by Sandor Clegane, the Hound, in a trial by combat, a flaming sword plunged deep into his shoulder and through his chest. As the Hound watched in disbelief, Thoros knelt over his friend, and Beric rose again, scarred but breathing. Each time he came back, he was a little less, a little more hollow. The man who was once Beric Dondarrion, the charming lord who loved songs and tournaments, was fading. He told his companions that with every death, a piece of him was lost forever. Memories of his home, Blackhaven, blurred into nothing. The faces of people he once loved became indistinct smudges in his mind. He was a copy of a copy, the details growing fainter with each printing. He was no longer a man, but an instrument. A weapon sharpened by the Lord of Light for a singular, unknown purpose. Why? Why him? This question haunted Beric. Why was he chosen for this agonizing cycle of death and rebirth? He and Thoros came to believe it was for the great war to come. Not the squabbles of lions and wolves and stags, but the real war. It's the war between the living and the dead. Beric Dondarrion was fire made flesh, a champion meant to stand against the encroaching ice of the White Walkers. He was a flickering flame, kept alive only to light a greater fire when the time was right. In the end, his purpose was revealed, though it differed between worlds. The books. His destiny was to be a conduit. He found the vengeful, drowned body of Catelyn Stark and gave her the gift, or curse, of life. He performed the last kiss, pouring his own borrowed fire into her, and in doing so, finally found peace in a true and final death, his purpose served by passing the flame. In the show, his destiny was tied to the long night. Beyond the wall, he died his sixth death defending Jon Snow and the others from a horde of whites, only to be brought back one last time. His seventh and final death came during the Battle of Winterfell. In a desperate corridor, swarmed by the army of the dead, he used his body as a shield to save Arya Stark, the very person who would go on to end the war and destroy the Night King. As he lay dying, his purpose fulfilled, Melisandre reminded us. The Lord brought him back for a purpose. That purpose has been served. There was no eighth resurrection. The fire had gone out. The Lightning Lord, the man who died 7 times, finally stayed dead. His story is one of the great tragedies of Westeros. A story of a hero who lost everything, including himself, to serve a cause he barely understood. He was a symbol of hope, a walking miracle, and a grim reminder that even in a world of magic, every gift comes with a terrible price. He was a man who became a legend, a knight who became a ghost, and a soldier who finally earned his rest. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the lore of Westeros, be sure to like and subscribe for more.